Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Leila Aitlhaj. I'm the director at Prevent Watch, an organisation that provides free information and support for those impacted by Prevent. Now, we recently heard of the appointment of William Shawcross as the independent reviewer of Prevent, and I'm not really going to use this opportunity to go into why he is so unsuitable to be the independent reviewer, because I think many of those reasons are already outlined, given that he was tipped to be a favourite for this role back in November of 2020. All I will say is that most of those criticisms of him to be put in that position boil down to his very Islamophobic statements and Islamophobic associations. And if you look at Prevent, which has been criticised for over a decade for being inherently Islamophobic, the idea of having somebody with such Islamophobic baggage as the independent reviewer just goes to show what a whitewash this entire process is. Initially, Lord Carlisle was appointed as the independent reviewer, and that was challenged legally, and now William Shawcross has been appointed as an independent reviewer. And if you look at the evolution of how this Prevent review has occurred over the last 2 years since it was initially announced, back in 2019 there was at least a attempt to say that the review would consider all possibilities, including the abolishment of Prevent, and that was reiterated by Lord Carlisle himself in a BBC Newsnight interview, where he said, he was asked, is everything on the table? And he said yes. And they said, does that include the abolishing of Prevent? And he said yes, that includes the abolishing of Prevent. Now, if you look at the government website, there is a very restrictive scope. I know the terms of reference haven't come out yet, but just the objective of the review, according to the government on its website, says that this review is going to offer improvements to the Prevent strategy, and that's it. That is the objective, and the current government have sufficient strength at the moment to bulldoze through with that and not even attempt to to show that this is a genuine independent review of Prevent. So I think, given that that has been clearly laid out, there really isn't any way that any organisation or individual can contribute to this review under the pretense that, it will be looked at independently, because it simply won't. And I think it's really unfortunate, because those people who have been impacted on the ground by the implementation of the Prevent strategy for over a decade now are going to continue to be impacted. And it really does affect people's lives. And we have been dealing with many of those people. Prevent Watch alone has dealt with hundreds of clients over the last 5 years. And unfortunately, it looks like our services will be required for at least another 5 years to come. So if you'd like to look at some of the research that is already out there, you can go to www.preventwatch.org/research, and the conclusions are quite evident. And the only way that the government can suggest that there is scope to improve Prevent rather than abolish it is if the government is completely blind and tone deaf, which it appears to be.